Welcome, gals, to Director's Cut. So I have with us today are 4 of our 6 directors. On my left, I have Dawn Renee, Connect Her Director. I'm Mariah Young, the CEO of G.A.L.S. I have Amanda, who is our Production Director. And finally, certainly not last, or certainly not least, yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Patty Lynn, who is our Chapter Director. So today we're going to be sharing a topic. You guys, if you've been watching us this year so far, you know that we're making some big changes. One of those is that we want to make sure that we are cultivating our squad. So of course you can download our ebook in the link below, and you're going to sign up for the emails that are going to send you event updates, swag information, lots of fun things, stickers, all the great fun things. So make sure you sign up for that. Today we're going to be talking about being honest. And this is a big topic. Let's just face it. We have been building. We started with be present, be open, and now be honest. And this is one of those things that we really feel has multiple layers. It's a deep topic. So today we're going to talk about this, but next month we want you guys to join us on this topic and join the conversation. So that's the second way that we are changing, is we want to include you. So ladies, let's dive in. There's plenty that we can talk about on this topic.
Yes.
So being honest, what does that mean to you? I actually don't mind starting if
Go
you
ahead.
guys, okay, so I'm going to start.
We're all being polite.
Yeah, you are. We're being so polite. Me, I'm like the disc person. I'm like, let's wait 7 seconds. Okay. But really, I think being honest starts with being honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
You need to know yourself, discover who you are. I just mentioned DISC. That's one good way to do it. There's lots of materials and tools out there, which if you guys need help with that, let us know. But the reason that's so important is because if you don't know yourself, it's really hard to be just honest about you, about who you have around you. Everything that you do starts with being honest with yourself. You know, are you being too needy, or are you possibly being too much of a people pleaser? What are some of the things that you need to change for you so that you're not allowing yourself to have people in your circle, in your squad, that take advantage of that or who are toxic in your life? So recognizing you, understanding you, being honest with you, completely for me is where that starts.
I think that's absolutely, yeah, it's that honesty that we hide from in ourselves is first and foremost. But then I think it rolls into, I think, figuring out where we're able to insert our lives into others honestly in a way that makes sense. So that's definitely finding out for ourselves, you know, we're honest with ourselves, then it opens up the ability for us to be honest with others. And allowing, I think, ourselves to hold space for people. But, you know, and that looks different in a lot of different ways. Because honesty with someone could be a little rough. But the way you approach it is, once you're honest with yourself, I think then you can open up how you can be honest with others. And even just being honest with who we are, like being authentically who we are. It's really interesting because once you go down that path, it really opens up a lot of doors in relationships. And, you know, sometimes that means being honest with others. They're going to go away, but that's okay.
Or love from a distance, right?
Love from a distance.
I'm not as available as I used to be.
Exactly. I love you, but.
Well, and I've said this before, you know, that I feel like I'm an open book, but not every chapter is for everyone to read, right? So as I'm being honest with others, you know, I'm not portraying myself in any way. That's not who I am. I know there's those situations we put our best foot forward. I don't think that's being dishonest. It's being polite or honoring, you know?
I call it a range of you.
A range of you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So, you know, so there are times you put your best foot forward, but just, you know, living authentically or being honest. And I find sometimes I'm too honest, like too open. Like I'll just be sharing with someone and I'll just be like, okay, that was like a little overshare. Or like if I'm working like in food service and someone says something, I'm like, oh yeah, and I just share something. I'm like, okay.
TMI maybe.
You know, they didn't need to know that. We don't have, you know, but I'm just like,
It's a balance.
I'm just like, this is what's honest. This is what I'm in the moment. And I just kind of, you know, hopefully not offensively blurt out, but you know, just I'm comfortable with opening that part of myself and it overflows. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, people don't, you know, that person doesn't have the relationship to care about what I'm saying. Or,
It's a journey.
Maybe God used it somehow. You never know.
I think it's definitely a journey, like that between, like where your honesty, like what in what circles.
Yeah.
Right, and I think with being honest, not only is it with yourself, but then sometimes being honest and your intentions of what your purpose is doing, because sometimes we have people in our past that we've had relationships with, partnerships with, businesses with, and not everyone is always a good fit. So being honest, just saying like, yes, you are this part of my life and we can love from a distance, but what my goals or my intention is for my future, unfortunately, is there's ways to do that, obviously politely, but it's not feeding my purpose. So being honest with yourself, and I think a lot of people are more receptive of you saying that to them, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and being open and honest and intentional in doing so. And I think they'd be more receptive of receiving that and helping you in your journey in that, or like, you know, more understanding, I guess. And honest.
I love that. I mean, and let's face it, I mean, even as each one of you is talking, I'm thinking of different layers of being honest, right? Because this is such a broad topic, and there's so many ways that we need to do that in our lives.
Absolutely.
So while we are not going to be able to go over everything that we could possibly go over on this topic, let's share, you know, what are some ways in your life, maybe right now or how you're moving forward, that you are being more honest in your life. And again, that can be with yourself, however you want to take that, with relationships. What does that look like for you?
I have to be honest with myself that I can't be everywhere at the same time.
I can relate to that.
That's a good thing for you to be honest
Yes,
with.
yes. As much as I love to do all the things,
Right.
I really have to be intentional and have purpose in that. So,
Yeah, because
it's good.
otherwise burnout
Yeah,
is
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, really, I think camping on my word for the year of simplify, that there's a lot of honesty you have to have within that. And I think one of the things that was, you know, really big, you know, does this bring me joy?
Right.
I can't even remember.
Marie Kondo.
That's what it is. I just hooked onto the, does this bring me joy? That is something that is such an amazing lens that if we can stop and be present and be open to that honesty of, does this bring me joy? And it's as simple of, like, right now we're going through stuff in our house, and you know, there's a lot of things that we carry with us that we have emotional attachments to, and you go, but it doesn't serve purpose anymore, it doesn't bring me joy. And then you go, okay, what can I do with this? And just being honest with the fact of, like, I don't want to hang on to that anymore because it's not bringing me joy. I look at it and it's cluttery, or it frustrates me, or it, fill in the blank. But I think you can apply that too in anything, you know, like you're saying, not being everywhere at once. There's can be a lot of FOMO that happens around that decision. And that's been something I've had to do. I'm going to simplify if I can't be at all the things. But where can you intentionally be? And I will tell you, one thing that's happened in that process is I still have people go, gosh, you're everywhere and you do all the things, and you're like, oh, okay. So the perception is still there, which I don't do things for perception, but it's really interesting that I'm still, like with my business or with certain things that it's important for me to show up in. There's still a perception that I'm out there, even though I've chosen to simplify and be intentional. So that's kind of where I'm at.
It's kind of the beauty of intentionality, because
It is true.
it does make you seem more like you're there even when you're not.
True.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in the same, being honest with my schedule. So intentional kind of goes with that. It goes with, but just really like if I'm going to make a commitment on, I'm committed to be a G.A.L.S director, right? And so then what, that's an honest, true statement, but it has implications on what does that mean with what I do with my time and how I fulfill that commitment.
Yeah.
Kind of has an honesty ring.
Absolutely.
One thing I've always loved to say, and I'm really planning on utilizing this a lot more this year, and I already have been, just with creating my non-burnout schedule and some of those things, it really has made me have to say no to a lot, is find the angle to say no. I know we always say no is one,
Complete sentence.
Complete sentence. It's one word. It's a sentence.
No is no.
However, I've recognized a lot of people with their different personalities have a hard time saying no. And so one thing that I've changed that a little bit to is, find your angle to say no. For example, we used to tell my kids when they were younger, if they felt uncomfortable in a scenario, but they knew that they might feel a little judged if they said no, or if they decided to come home, they might feel like they were, their friends wouldn't like them anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
We were like, let us be your bad guy.
Yeah.
Let us be the ones, oh, my parents texted me, there's an emergency, I got to go home. Or, oh, no, sorry, my parents said no, I can't do that. And I've learned even over the years, my husband even, he doesn't mind being the bad guy. In fact, he thrives on that. So, but truly being able to say, you know what, I got to talk with my husband about that first before I make that decision. That is a viable thing.
I love that, because I will say one of the things that I've grasped onto, and it was true, but depending on, I say my coach or my mentor, there I have a lot of them. There's a lot of them, business, personal, my naturopath, they're all mentors. And so I can say, my mentor has told me I need to do this. Or my coach has told me I need to do
clients
this.
to say that.
Yeah.
Say your business coach told you to.
Yeah, and so we all have mentors. We all have people we can say, well, my mentor told me.
I'll tell you.
That's right.
Well, and I've even asked, can you, can you help me with this, right?
Yeah.
Or as a kid, Mom, can you tell me I can't go over there,
I've even
Because-
had Alex come in at certain times during a social moment and say, can you just come upstairs? So that's a great indicator that it's time to end. Because I
time to
won't do
leave.
it. I'll just keep talking.
Keep the
and
party
keep
going.
having fun.
Can't please.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, turn the lights off on your way out. We're going to bed.
But I do think in knowing yourself too, sometimes if you don't have that where you can say, you can also recognize you
Put
know
in
what,
boundaries.
that's not my gifting. I could be so much more helpful to you in this way, or you know what, I just don't have the time in my schedule to do that. Whatever that is, you're coming from an honest place, because I know that's where a lot of people struggle. Well, I'm not being honest. Well, find your angle and find your truth to be honest and say, you know what, this isn't where I'm going right now, or this isn't a part of my schedule, or I've already committed myself, I've already allocated my funds, I've already allocated my schedule, whatever that looks like. If you're being honest with you, then you can find the way to be honest about saying no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I
like
think
that.
that's a great way to instill boundaries, we can't have boundaries if we're not honest with ourselves or honest with others.
Yeah.
Even if you find your angle of honesty, because it doesn't matter what that honesty is. Whatever, makes it work.
Yeah. So obviously we could go on and on about this topic.
Right.
It's such a good topic and it's so important. So we invite you ladies next month to join us on this topic. Share with us what your thoughts were and where you went with this. We, of course, will announce when that is coming up, and you'll have that, available to you. Go download this book, comment, ask any questions that you have, in this video, but make sure that you join us. This is a great topic. So I think we want to make sure that you remember to
Like and subscribe.
yes. And until next time, ladies, cultivate your squad.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.